Morning everyone, this is Jacob Folger, artist sculptor, and today we're going to make a very fun cat. And we're going to be doing it in air dry clay, and it's a fun project. It's pretty easy and it is for beginners, and we're going to get started in just a few minutes. I'd like to ask you to gently give the like button a mule kick and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Let's get started. Okay, before we start, I want to show you what we're going to be using for tools and supplies today. We'll be working on a flat surface that's waterproof, like a plastic yogurt lid. That's what I'm using. We're going to be working in air dry clay. This is also called self-hardening clay when you buy the package, just so you know. And I'm using Marblex, which I really like because it's very easy to use. We're going to be using a couple sculpting tools. These are wood tools, and you can get a package of them, maybe 5 or 6 tools for like $10 at an art store. They usually come with a wire tool, which is good for cutting the clay if you need to cut it, just to show you. And sometimes you need to release it from the base by just putting the wire behind the piece and pulling it towards you to cut it away from the base. They come with 2 handles like this, and it's a very thin, very strong wire. We'll also be using a cup of water with a paintbrush and a small paintbrush, and I tend to use both ends, this end and this end. And it's good to have a misting spray bottle with water in it to moisten your work and your source clay as you work. So we're going to get started here. I'm going to start off with a little bit of clay. I'm going to roll it into a ball off screen because I don't have room on the set. So here's my ball, and I'm just going to smooth out the rough edges on it. And now I'm going to take my fingers like this at the base of the ball and roll it back and forth. And what this does is it creates this part, which will be the head, and this part will be the neck. So just roll that back and forth like that. Until I get the neck to be about that size. And then I take my thumbs like this and press into the clay to shape the beginning of the eyes and the beginning of the nose. Just take your time if you're new to this. You can pause the video in between steps so you can get it to where you like it. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to take a small ball of clay, maybe a little bit bigger. Small ball of clay. This is what it looks like so far. And I'm going to put that at the tip of the nose, like that. And then I'm going to take my thumb and I'm going to blend the tip of the nose into the bridge of the nose like that, and I'll do that all the way around. So it looks like this. Starting to look like a cat already. Now I'm going to take another ball of clay, about this big or so, and I'm going to put it here, just to the left of the tip of the nose, so it's kind of centered on the tip of the nose. This part right here is centered. And I'm going to get another ball of clay, and this is for the whisker area. Make sure it's about the same size, and put it on the other side. And blend it in all the way around. So it should look like this. Now I'm going to take another ball of clay, small ball of clay, and I'm going to put it up under here for his mouth. And I'm going to blend that in. Okay, now I'm going to take the back of my paintbrush and I'm going to poke in for the eye sockets. And make a nice round eye socket, and do that on the other side as well. So it should look like this. Now I'm going to roll a small ball of clay to fit into the eye socket. Like that. And do it on the other side as well. Now I'm going to take this kind of sculpting tool here, make sure it doesn't have any clay on it, and I'm going to put in the pupils for the eyes by just pressing in right there like that. So it looks like that. Now I'm going to take a little noodle of clay, like this, and put it above the eye, kind of on the eye, but above it a little bit, and that's going to be the eyelid. And I'm going to blend that in at the top with my thumb. So it looks like that. Like that. And we do that on the other side as well. Let's go the dry clay in there. So it looks like that. Okay, now I'm going to start the body. I'm going to set the head off to the side. Get a little bit of clay. Roll it into a ball off screen so I have room to do it. And then into a cone shape. Like this. I make sure it's big enough. Yep, it's big enough. It's going to go like that. And I'm going to press it into the base, the lid that I'm working on. So it's going to be like this. So it's flat on the bottom so it can stand up on its own. It looks like this. Okay, now I'm going to take my sculpting tool and I'm going to wet it. And I'm going to score the top of the body. Right at the neck. See, when we join the two pieces together, it'll be a lot more sturdy. So I'm going to wet my tool again. I'm going to clean it off. I want it to be clean. I don't want it to have clay on it. I'm going to dip it in the water and score it here also, on the bottom of the neck. And then I'm going to put it on the body with a twisting motion while pushing down and blend it in. So that's what it looks like so far. Okay. Now I want to make his back come out a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of clay and just add it to the back and blend it in. So it looks like that. I'm going to get a little bit of clay. I'm going to start by rolling it into a ball like this. And then I'm going to roll it into a noodle. A long noodle. I'm rolling a noodle of clay. Sorry, I have to do it off screen. I'm gonna, the clay is starting to dry out a little bit, so I'm just gonna wet it. Wet my source clay and wet the noodle. I'm going to keep rolling it a little bit more, make it a little bit skinnier. So it looks like this. And I'm going to fold it like this. going to decide where I want it to go. This is going to be for his front legs. And then I'm going to blend it in. So it'll be like this. And then I'm going to cut off so he's got his feet like that. And then I'm going to blend this in. And I'm going to round his feet a little bit. So it looks like this. I'm going to bring them in a little bit closer. You can move them just by pushing them in on the sides. Okay. That looks pretty good. Just blend that in a little bit there. So if your clay is getting dry on you, you really need to give it a squirt of water. Now I'm going to roll a ball like this, and I'm going to flatten it out. And this is going to be for his thigh. And before I put it on, I'm going to wet the tool, score the flattened ball, score where it's going to go. And then put it on. Like that. I'm going to make one for the other side. Roll it into a ball. Flatten it. I think I made that too big. Roll it again. Flatten it. Make sure it's the right size. Yes. A little bit skinnier. Wet the tool. Score it. Wet the tool. Score the hip. And put it on. And then I'm going to pick him up, and what I'll do is, instead of deforming his body, I'll take my wire, hold it to the lid, and just cut him away like that, so he I can pick him up easily like that. And I'm going to blend it in here. I'm going to blend in his feet to the base. Blend in the hip to the base. Like that. So it should look like that. And then I'm going to blend the back of the hip into the body, like this. Just drawing my thumb. Oops. Just sort of forming it. Now I'm going to get a little ball of clay. And this will be for his foot, his back foot. So I'm going to wet the tool, clean my tool off because you want clean when you're scoring. And score here and here. And put the foot on and blend it in. Then I'm going to get another ball of clay and do a foot on the other side. Like this. Clean my tool off, wet it, score here, and score here, and put it on. Blend it in. Now you want to pick them up again, so you may have to cut them away. Like that. And you want to blend the bottoms of the feet into the body. I'm going to take a little bit of clay and fill this in here. So I want it to be really sturdy. Okay. I'm going to give him another squirt. My source clay too. Now I'm going to do his ears. So the best way to do ears is to roll two balls the same size. I actually need a bit more clay. Give me a little bit more clay on that ball. So roll two balls of clay the same size. See, this one's a little bit bigger. I think I'm actually going to add a little bit more clay to the smaller ball. Try that. Yeah, that's about right. So if you have two balls the same size, you'll make ears the same size. So what you do is you hold your thumb and forefinger like this, and this thumb and forefinger here, and you squeeze, and it makes the shape of an ear. So that's how it looks. And you do that same for the other ball. And you've got two ears the same size. Now what I'm going to do is clean my tool off again, right? And score the top of the head where the ear is going to go on. Wet the tool, make sure it's wet, and score. And you don't want little tiny scratches. You don't want little scratches like that. You want deep scratches. So it's deep. Because you want it to be sturdy. Clean your tool off, wet it, score deep for the ears. Clean your tool off, wet it, score deep. Face them this way and twist it on while pushing down. And it's like this, you know, when you score like that, it's when you put the two pieces together, they interlock like I'm interlocking my fingers. And then blend it in all the way around. Then what you can do is you can take your thumb like this and just squeeze, and that will put a little ridge on the top of his ear like that. Squeeze. And then what I like to do is just give him a little funny look, you know, tilting his head a little bit. And then the tail is the last part. So I take a chunk of clay, roll it into a ball, roll it into a noodle, rolling it off screen because it's not enough room on the set. Just bear with me. I'm here, I haven't gone anywhere. So you have the tail like that. And then I want to decide how I'm going to put it, so I'm just going to stick it on here for a minute and bring it around. I like to make really long tails. So Maybe like that. Whoops. So it's going to go like that. And I'm going to blend it in. Wait. I'm going to come away again and release him for the yogurt lid. And then blend this in. Maybe tilt this head a little bit more. Well, that's what we got so far. Blend this in a little bit better. Now you can take your paintbrush, get it wet, squeeze off the water, and smooth them. And just take your time. And just take your time and go around and smooth them. And when you have clay on your brush like that, you can stab it into the bottom of the cup, and that will help take it off. Squeeze out the water and smooth. Now be careful around the eyes, especially because you don't want them to get muddy and make a mess. So you have to be careful around the eyes, especially. Any fine detail. It turned out pretty good, huh? Now this is a beginner's project, so you can do this. It may be a little bit rough the first time, but you'll get the hang of it. And then you can let them dry for a day or so, maybe 2 days, and you can paint them. There you go. Well, that was a fun project. I really enjoyed that. I hope you all will try it. It's really not a hard project. It's maybe a little bit more involved in my latest fairy house or something like that, but it's fun to do and pretty easy. And you can take your time, pause the video in between steps, and you'll do great, I'm sure. So if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel. Give the video a like. You can also give it a gentle mule kick, the like button, and share the video with your friends and on your social media platforms. And let's see, you gotta leave a comment for me. I really want to know if my videos are helping you. It's very helpful for my channel as well for you to leave a comment, so I would really appreciate that. I want to thank my patrons. With your support, I'm able to make these videos for everyone to enjoy. If you'd like to learn more about becoming a patron, you can find a link for my Patreon account in the video description down below the video. There'll also be a tool and supply list there. And that's about it. Now, I guess I'll see you in the comments section, right? All right. See you guys later. Thanks for your support. Take care. Bye-bye.